Alright everyone, so after you finish watching the first video, now let's move on to the second video for the second sessions. And in the second sessions, you are going to study the writing right 3 and the lessons that we are going to learn, which is the unit 3, we talk about infinitive and gerunds. However, for the whole week, we extensively study this grammar point. Now it is the weekend and it is a good time for those who haven't catch up with the lesson because in these sessions I am going to recap what are the important lessons that we have learned from the writing break 3. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first point, which is the infinitive, everyone, is it infinitive or is it gerund? Sure, the verb plus ing, we call it gerund. So let's look at some of the example here. They give you some verb. We have the verb enjoys, we have the verb mind, we have the word suggested. So all those verbs we use with ing form. Let's look at the example. I enjoy readings. Would you mind closing the door? Which is the example that I showed all of you previously. Chris suggests going to the cinema. Okay, these are the verb that we use with ing form, and the verb plus ing, let's say reading, clothing, going, they are the gerund form. So some more verb that followed by the ing form. I hope you notice this. We have the word stop, finish, recommend, consider, admit, denies, avoid, wish, imagine, and fancy. Those verbs are used with the gerund. So you are fancy doing something, you are imagine doing something, avoid doing something. So those are the verbs that we use with gerund form. So the negative form of the gerund form is not plus gerund. Let's look at the example. When I'm on holiday, I enjoy not having to get up early. Okay, so these are the negative forms. There are more informations that we can use with the gerund form. So some of the verb we can say give up doing something, put off doing something, get on or carry on doing something, keep or keep on doing something. So these are the phrasal verb that we can also use with gerund form. Let's read the first example. I've given up buying newspaper. I don't read them anymore, which means I stopped buying newspaper. With some verb, you can use the structure verb plus somebody plus ing, and this grammar point will be extensively covered in the next unit of your writing break 3. Okay, and this one as well is will be covered, but to make you familiar with the structure, so we use some verb that we can use the structure verb plus somebody plus ing. Let's say you can't stop people doing what they want. I can't imagine George riding a motorbike. So these are the structure that you can use with gerund form. The last part, when you talk about finished action, you can say having done, stolen, or said. So they admitted having stolen the money. So which is the perfect form in an infinitive. So here, admitted having stolen, which is having is the infinitive form plus verb 3. So we can use this structure to talk about finished action. Okay, um, let's move on to some other verb that you can use to use with the gerund form. So the word denies. So other structure are possible with admit, deny, suggest, and recommend. So they deny they had done anything wrong. So it has the same meaning as they denies doing something or anything wrong. And Chris suggested that we go to the cinema. So you can say Chris suggested going to the cinema. I recommend that you travel by train. So I recommend traveling by train. So you can shorten the sentence. And this one will be covered in another unit. So don't Worried if you cannot catch up with this one. Now let's move on to the to infinitive. So we use to infinitive with the verbs such as decide or forget. So here in the box you can see there are verbs that you should remember because all those verbs automatically use with to infinitive. The verb such as offer, agree, refuse, decide, plan, arrange, hope, forget, manage, fail, promise, threaten, deserve, afford, learn, and tend. So these are the verbs that automatically use with to infinitive. So let's look at the example. It was a long way to walk, so we decided to take a taxi. Simon was in a difficult situation, so I agreed to help him. Okay, as you can see, all these examples they use the verb in the box and it followed by the to infinitive. So to notice the negative form of the to infinitive, it is the same as the negative form of the gerund. We use not plus to infinitive. So here we decided not to go out because of the weather, which means you decide already, but you decide not to do something in a negative way. So I promise not to be late. So you promise not to do something. And the negative form just applies to the to infinitive form only. It doesn't mean the whole sentence is a negative sentence. This sentence is a positive sentence. As you can see, the main verb, which is promise, is written in a positive form of past simple. However, it followed by the negative form of to infinitive. Okay, so we can use. However, after some verb, we use ing, not to. We already learned this lesson from the previous slide. Those verbs such as enjoy, think, suggest, those verbs we use with ing form. So the word there is used plus to. However, the word there is very old verb. There is not mostly appear in your book. It very old grammar structure. So I didn't dare to tell him, or I didn't dare tell him, which is there, which means here. Okay. But after they are not, we do not use to. I dare tell him what happened. So this one is not important because it is a very old grammar structure. Now let's look at the other example. We also use to after the word seem, appear, pretend, and claim. For example, they seem to have plenty of money. So just remember the word seem, appear, pretend, and claim. They use with to infinitive. Here are some of the structure that you can use to infinitive in a question form. So the word ask, know, decide, remember, forget, learn, explain, understand, and wonder can be used with to infinitive. So we ask how to get to the station. Have you decide where to go? So in your book, they just give you the word know how. Okay, I don't know how to swim, but here there are a lot more structure for you to learn. So we ask how to get to hospital. Have you decided how to get to the hospital? I don't know how to get to the hospital. Or do you understand how to get to the station? Okay, these are the verb that you can use with to infinitive. Okay, once so for this Friday and for the lesson that we extensively cover from Monday up until Friday now, I hope you get some of the main idea and main language point that we have learned from the all the course book. And generally for this week, the main focus of the language focus is infinitive and gerund only. What you need to know is to be able to decide what verb you need to use with to infinitive and what verb you need to use with gerund. Now once it's time to say goodbye and enjoy your weekends and stay safe everyone. Now see you again on Monday. Goodbye.